Here we are live.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 7 of Midweek Racing Season 3. Welcome to Brazil, Sao Paulo. I'm joined by Captain Ice in the comms box tonight. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Well, thank you. I'm good, thank you. And you, Mr. Not Fernandez? Not Fernando. I just had to for good time's sake. Yes, Brazil it is. Of course, coincidentally, it was also a race we had on Sunday. So, obviously one of my favorite tracks. I guess a lot of people can say that. Definitely looking forward to this one.
Definitely a tricky circuit. The top one to get the setup just right. We actually do have a driver commentator with us today. We've got Staffy with us today, so during the course of the broadcast we can find out info from him if there is anything interesting that we need to know about. If there's going to be rain, I'm sure he'll let us know.
I was just about to ask him, Staff, what's the weather like? Oh boy. Oh, interesting. But that's Brazil, there's always the chance of rain.
At the end of Q1. And then the rest of qualifying.
We'll wait till the end of the session or when he's in the pits when we can get more info, hopefully. But yeah, interesting at the end of the session. I wonder how many people actually saw that, because only a few of them out on outlaps now. If they all know the rain is coming, they will actually all get out there. It was better to put in the time now, because the weight of the track was lower over time.
We do have the 16 runners, so someone will miss out. You want to get out there, you want to go do your lap. If the rain does come towards the end of the session, the track is not going to get any better.
Definitely. And yeah, and it's tough here in the rain, definitely. I mean, this is the track that even Michael Schumacher so famously aquaplaned of the track. So, well, it seems like a lifetime ago now, but yeah. We'll never forget that race where how many cars actually ended up in the barriers.
I was just about to say, I can't remember the year, don't even ask me that, but there was a year where it rained in Brazil, and for some reason there was this stream of water going across the track at this one particular point, and I think that stream of water was, there was about 7 cars. It was responsible for about 7 cars going off on the same little spot.
Staffy provisionally went fastest, but Angry Wolf immediately goes faster with almost a second.
But first, so that provisional pole we're seeing now, 109.4. Clinton going second, 10.1. We've got 4 drivers out there so far with lap times. Let's have a look at Connor Young. He's out on circuit. Apparently has been showing significant pace from what I've heard.
I think we found our victim of the elimination after the session. It looks like Valandel has retired. There we go. That's confirmation. Valandel is out, so that will be the guy eliminated from the session. So pretty much everyone else will go through regardless where they finish.
Everyone else, yeah, that's it. Everyone else will go through to Q2 regardless of where they finish. so don't need to push too hard in this session, just need to get a lap time. Lando will be disappointed with that, means he'll start this race from 16th, unless anyone gets disqualified, then they will have to start from the back, but Lando will be starting from 16th, maybe not the worst place to start. Saw what Carlos Sainz did with P20.
And I mean, even from other league races, I actually saw it again. Even on Friday night in the Team B one at Australia, where it was an all-wet race. The guys starting at the back were actually in good positions, missing all the action in front and worked their way up and finishing strong. So, and I said it before myself on other races. Starting at the back is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's all about that saying, Connor Young goes fastest to 108.4. Goes a second quicker than the Angry Wolf.
Okay, Vino retired also without setting a lap, so that, and if that's a crash, that's actually both him and Valandel out. So then we only have 14 runners going through to Q2.
Happy now, just coming into the pits, slowing down for that 80-meter board. Got Raptor going around in sector 3. Hasn't set a lap time just yet.
A guy that was in a bit of a flat spin earlier, internet was giving him some hard time. He really thought he's not going to make this race.
Goes third, 109.9, just getting into the 109s. That's good enough to get him up into the top 3.
Connie Young 108, a full second faster than Angry Wolf.
Watch now the Ferrari of Duxter. No lap time just yet. He enters sector 3, or at least he will shortly.
We just need the German flag striping, and then you could say that's Dukes de Vettel sporting the white helmet with the red Ferrari.
Interesting day for Ferrari at Brazil. Luckily we only have one Ferrari on the grid, so none of that. Duxter goes 9th for 110.8. When I did join his lap in sector 2, seemed to be struggling in sector 2. I think he's got a lot more than that. Savage Moses.
Of course, as we said already, with 2 guys out already, there's no need for the other guys to push. So I think it's just now to, just put a lap in there, don't risk the car, make sure you get it through to the next session.
Definitely. The last thing you want to do is retire and start from the back. Would be unnecessary at this stage.
Correct. With already 2 guys out.
Savage Moses goes into the 109s, 109.6. That's good enough for 5th place for the Williams driver. Let's have a look at the Red Bull Avalanche. He's on an out lap. Let's have a look. Is there anyone on a fast lap? Doesn't seem it that way.
He's got Avalanche and a Judge and out laps. Staffy going out again, as well as Angry Wolf.
One stick. It's going to be difficult to improve under those circumstances. Riding along with Jacques at the moment, currently 2nd with a 109.1. But a big gap between the top 3. A full second covers the top 3.
Only Connie Young so far in the 108.
So missing a few names tonight that could probably be up there. Notably missing the Munna. It's in Gavin.
Man, that's still stuck in traffic by the looks of it.
Wolf currently in 4th. Goes over the line now, tries to improve. Had a 109.4. Does improve, but by a couple of thousandths. Staffy has not set a fast lap. He's chosen to come back into the pits.
Of course, just over 7.5 minutes still to go in Q1.
No Raider. He's just gone over the line to start his fast lap. Avalanche has set his first lap. It's a 111.3. Still not for 11th place. Obviously there will be no eliminations at the end of this session, so nothing to worry about.
Definitely not worth risking anything at this stage.
Now, Noi Raider in the racing point. Finally getting that name.
Guys, look at Noir Raider. Can't help but to think of a guy raiding a perfume shop. Raka Noir Raider.
Now in Sector 3, yet to set a lap time. Activates DRS as he goes over the main straight. See what can he do? That seems like it was an up lap, or it was invalidated. No lap time showed up. Currently that top 3 remains the same. Connor Young, Shark and Ronald. Second covers the top 3.
Connor, of course, the only guys to earn the 108. Shark very close to him, but still 7 tenths off. Ooh, and a big mistake there from Buxton with Ferrari. Almost into the barriers, but nicely done to make sure he does not end up in the barrier. And he learns to fight another lap.
Benton comes into the pits. That's the Williams in 5th and 6th. Sure they'd love that result.
Definitely. I think Claire will be very happy with that.
Noi Raider, he's gone second with a 108.8. There we go. He's inserted himself in this battle.
And of course, the second guy's going to the 108, so that's what you want to see. More closer gap between the top 3 or 4 even.
We might still see a few of these drivers pop into the 108s. Maybe just not giving it everything here in Q1. Knowing they will not be eliminated. And then obviously strategy begins to come into play in Q2. Rod still in Sector 3, but looks like he's gonna, it's on an outlap. Go and try and improve on this 109.8.
And now still the same, of course. Several guys in the mid to high 109s. Staffy, of course, decided enough's enough. It's now just to make it through to the next session. Just over 3.5 minutes to go.
Start thinking about Q2. possibly what tyre you want to start the race on. But you don't know what weather awaits us in Q2.
Correct. But of course we have a key thing. Before you make that strategy, make sure that you know what the weather's going to be like.
We arrive at Q2 and have intermediate conditions. It could mix up everything. Or maybe even a situation where you can get one last run with the 6 if you go out early. We'll have to wait and see. Sniffleizer in the Merc, yet to set a lap time.
Right, leaving it late, but already on 2 laps, so it looks like there might have been invalidated laps there.
He's in sector 2.
See what type of time he can post. Coming around final bit now, dashing for that home throw over final start finish line, and 110.8.
You're right now with Shark. Can we improve on this? Not now. It's a 111.3.
Pushing that Red Bull now like a real Max Verstappen.
Colourful top 3 there. Toro Rosso Racing Point and a Red Bull. You go as far back as 4th to find your first Ferrari.
And then of course 5th brings you a Merc.
Ooh, we've just joined Raptor at the worst possible time. As I join Raptor, he ramps over a curb into a tyre wall. And that will be the end of that, because he's lost the wheel. So that's retirement. He will take no further part in Q2 or Q3.
That makes 3 guys.
And he had a 109.9. He was guaranteed Q2 qualification.
And with 2 guys already prior to that retired, that would have been a clear second sector. That's why I say in Q1, if you know you're safe, guys retiring. I don't understand the need to go out again and push. Rather,
we actually had 2 retirements earlier on in the session, so that left us with just 14 drivers. So really, no need to push.
Correct. Leave it for the later sessions to come.
Didn't seem to be going fast at the time. Just it all seemed a bit clumsy. Anyway, we're riding still with Noi Raider, currently in second with a 108.8. He's still out on circuit, as is Sniffleizer and the judge. He may have been compromised by that Red Bull, and it seems so. He's backed off from this lap, as has the Red Bull. I think that is basically the end of Q1.
Yeah. Just waiting for the guys to finish, and of course the likes of Noah Raider to retire once he's in the pits. Then this session is pretty much over. Done and dusted.
That means we will go into Q2 with just 13 runners. 3 will be eliminated at the end of Q2. Just with that top 10 shootout. What will the top 10 shootout look like? Will there be rain, or does it actually look to be clearing up? I'm not sure.
Have to wait to see.
We will need to see what the Codemasters Weather Guards do. Waiting for the last guys to retire. There you
I
go.
think it's only Sniffleizer who needs to be retired when this session is over.
There we go. We were just waiting for the Merc crew to push their car back into the garage, and they really took their time. I was watching that. They were in no hurry.
That's Merc for you.
There we go. That's Q1. Let's just go through your results. First place, Connor Young with a 108.4, setting the pace early on. Then you got Neuraider second, Jacques third, Duxter fourth, Boinkies in fifth, Angry Wolf sixth, Quinton in seventh, Savage Moses eighth, Avalash ninth, Staffy in 10th. Then you got Cowboy 11, Sniffleizer 12, and the Judge 13. Raptor, Valandel,
and Vino, of course.
And Vino being eliminated via retirement from the session. So they will take no further part. Just the 13 runners.
Okay. Thanks for that, Jeff.
Okay, no rain. Here we go. Beginning of Q2. 14.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Waiting to see who will be the first guy out of the pits. Ronald just commenting it's time to start thinking about tyre strategy. And that's exactly right. Let's bring up some information on your screens. You can see who's got what tyre. Neuraider, Angry Wolf.
Quinton Williams also out. He was the first guy, so there's just your answer who's going out first.
6 cars on the mediums. 6 cars on the softs. And Quinton, well, he's on the hards. He's taken the different approach. If the rain is relatively deep into the race, then that could be the strategy. Just take it as deep as possible, and hopefully it's a one-stopper onto Inters and finish the race from there. But we'll see. We have no idea. We've had rain late in the race, and Jeff announcing on the formation lap that rain is imminent. This has happened. So won't read into the predictions too much until the start of the race.
One thing I also learned about this game is whoever prediction can be out.
See, when it's this cloudy, you never know. Got quite the mix of tyres. Like I mentioned, 6 on soft, 6 on mediums, just the one driver on hards. You see, he just needs to get himself into the top 10. That will be his objective. Keep that car in the top 10 and you can start your race on the hards.
Of course, with the extra 2 guys retiring from the previous session, only 3 guys yet to be eliminated, and not the usual 5.
Steffi now starts his quick lap. Nope. You know, for real.
I wonder if that retirement of Vino was perhaps a disconnection, seeing that he's joining again. I didn't see the actual incidents as possible.
Been a disconnect, but hopefully that's the end of his internet issues and he can still start this race. Just going to have to sit and patiently watch the qualifying session.
just under 11 minutes in Q2 left. Of course, then Q3 to go.
Quinton now as he goes over the, if you want to call that the final corner, it's a 1:10.4.
Looking at the times from Q1, it's not. It might be enough to see you through, but of course the track will improve as we go on.
Might be enough, but it might just be close, really close. Like, I don't know. Here we go. His teammate goes over the line, 1:09.7. It's obviously on a set of mediums. Crucially, Quinton just needs to worry about 3 cars, and he does have 2 behind him in the form of Cowboy and Judge, both on faster tyres than him. So I think he could still scrape through on that time.
At least it's below one, but Cowboy at that time, at the moment, and the Judge will. I don't see them going through.
Yeah, now he's coming into the pits. There we go. Just had to slow down really aggressively to miss the Judge. But I wonder if you want to start on the hards, is it maybe not a better ploy to put in an extra lap or 2 of fuel and go for 2 or 3 flying laps and just try and get those tires up to temperature? Because from a race perspective, we know that hard tire is still going to feel terrible on lap 2. Maybe if it's the hardest compound, have a second go at it. Shock did not register a lap time, and he's gone back into the pits and put on a set of hards. So wonder if that's a reaction to Quinton. I'll tell you that Quinton is in the pits and he has fitted a set of mediums, hasn't left the pits just yet. But he's obviously sitting and waiting, seeing if he needs to come out.
Looks like only the Judge is on soft at the moment.
And he will goes over the line to start a fast lap. Should see some laps on the board in the next minute and a half. Things still looking a bit quiet for the time being. Just the 5 lap times on the board. Times ranging from a 1:09.7 to a 1:11.4. Ooh, an Avalanche going seriously wide in sector 3 on that lead up the hill, up to the straight. Just lost it, found himself on the grass, and well, that's the end of that lap attempt.
Likely straight to the pitch.
Straight into the pits. But Dirkster also yet to set a lap time. The only Ferrari. Maybe that's a good ploy to finish the race in a Ferrari in Brazil. Just have the one. Don't invite 2 of them. Actually have a driver that joined, I think. Malpire. I think he's raced with us before. See his name just joined the lobby, so maybe he'll be joining the race later on. Take us up to 17 drivers in total, I think.
Dukester coming around. I'm just riding here with Dukester, seeing what he can do here. Across the starting line now, and he actually goes fastest for now, 1:09.5.
Very nicely done by the Ferrari, 1:09.527. And now get back to the pits. Save that set of mediums. Every lap you do on those set of mediums is a lap less you can do in the race.
Correct, that's the other problem.
So just crawl back to the pits. Take care of them as best you can. and you're done for the session.
I pretty much believe the top 5 all the 109s have done enough.
The top 5 just covered by 0.3 of a second.
There
As
we
I
go,
say
Conor
that,
Young 109.4.
I say that becomes the top 6. The top 6 covered by 0.4 of a second.
I think Winky's just pretty much saying the same thing I did. At the 109.8, he believes he's done enough, he will be safe.
10 drivers now have set lap times, still waiting for lap times from the other 3. The other 3 being Noi, Raider, Avalanche and Sniffleizer.
Avalanche, of course, already on an outlap. Looks like Noir Raider and Sniffleizer is on outlaps.
Let's see where they are. Sniffleizer is in sector 2. Noi Raider is in sector 3. He's going around the final corner. He's going to go over the line now.
Ooh,
And
Staffy disqualified from session, blocking the pit lane. Oh no. I think he might have lost a car, which resulted in, it looks like, a block. Obviously that wouldn't have been intentional. So there's our first victim from the session, so it means 2 more to be eliminated. At the moment, it looks there, at the current times, it is Noir Raider and the judge.
also means a disqualification trumps everything else. So a disqualification also means that he will start in last place. Avalanche was retired from the session without setting a lap time. Not sure what happened there, we didn't see it. But Avalanche has retired from Q2 without setting a lap time.
Which means pretty much just 1 more rider to be eliminated, so that definitely makes the top 6 actually safe. Guy in the drop zone pretty much at the moment is the judge. There we go, Noir Raider goes fast as 109.3. That well and truly puts the judge actually in the drop zone.
Now the question mark for Quintonator over here. He went out and set a 110.4 on a set of hards. He's gone out and improved it with a set of mediums, but not by much. He went from 9th to 8th, and has he now compromised the strategy he initially wanted? I think he would have made it. Would have made the top 10 without it. But he's given up those hard tyres.
The judge coming out to see if he can improve.
We'll ride with the judge.
Go.
Comes out of the pits.
3 minutes pretty much leave him with 1 hot lap, maybe 2.
Don't know how much fuel he has.
Depending also how quick he comes around on this outlap.
He's gonna have to, if he's going to qualify for the top 10, he's gonna have to find half a second. Currently a 111.4. Gonna have to find a 110.9 something. That's a very high 110.9. So
Yes.
I think anything in the 110.9s he should be fine.
I mean, if you look at Sniffleizer 110.2, if you can get there, definitely. The Sniffleizer is still in the pits.
There you go. Judge now going around this final corner. Very iconic pit entry this. Don't find it on any other track. The way it leads up to the main straight. Absolutely love it. What a unique sight. Comes out of the CNRSs now. On what will probably be his final attempt. In 11th, like we said, needs to find half a second.
And we will also now realizing he's done enough. Let's bring on the next session.
Firing from the session.
It looks very weird, of course, now commentating from different one league to another. I mean, we also judged before Mr. Haas. It feels very weird seeing him in a Toro Rosso. I think this is the first time ever I saw the judge in a Toro Rosso.
He's been in the Haas in so many different leagues. for such a long period of time that even when I started doing commentary on midweek racing, yeah, sometimes I'd be following a horse, and I just in my head I thought it was Frick, and it wasn't Frick at all.
No, it's not.
Frick was in the blue car behind him.
Of course, like in the league, As is pretty much synonymous with the judge.
At one stage, the judge and Attie, they were horse teammates for quite a few seasons in a row. But recently, Attie's loyalty has been with Renault for some reason.
And looking at it, of course, in the current GNB season, that make you and Attie are teammates for Toro Rosso.
Well, not having the best of seasons, I've gotten a majority of my points in F2. Actually got my first F1 points on Friday, and then didn't manage to finish the F2, because apparently doing both things on the night is asking too much.
Judge coming around now, that final bend, past the pit entry.
Watch this lap time with anticipation, I didn't see. I wish it didn't flash. Okay, it's not enough. It stays 11. I think he did improve, but it wasn't enough. And that means Judge will be eliminated. Okay, let's just go through your results for Q2. Neuraider on provisional pole with a 1.9.3. And we've got Connor Young, Duxter, Savage Moses, Angry Wolf, Boinkies, Jacques, Quinton, Sniffleizer, and then Cowboy. That makes up your top 10. Eliminated from this round, you've got Judge and Avalash. Avalash never did set a lap time, and then obviously Staffy got disqualified, unfortunately. It seems like there was a bit of a problem at the pit entry. But, you know what, look at it on the positive side, and maybe starting from the back is a positive.
And it's not that far down. But yeah, with so many riders first corner here, I would also prefer to start a little bit back.
We know here in Brazil, down into that turn 1, it's not just a turn 1. It's a whole segment of corners.
Correct.
And if someone messes up the first one or the second one,
it's a for everybody.
That's right. We know we're going to have 17 cars heading down into turn 1. I think the Ferrari was the first one out on circuit. It was Duxter. Well, he may have been the first one out of the pits, but he's definitely not the first one out on circuit, because we've got 4 cars in front of him. That's one of the benefits of starting in the first pit garage.
Everybody hurrying to get out there. Oh yeah, because it looks like he was actually ghosting. Which will also explain me for one moment, looks like he's going out first and then there's 4 cars ahead of him. So we can rejoin him before the start. He can still be part of the race.
Also gives Staffy the opportunity to sit back and enjoy Q3.
And have a look. Work out his strategy from there, see what the other guys do. Maybe explore a bit of weaknesses if he can.
So no lap times just yet. 9 cars out on circuit. All 9 of those cars are on their out lap. Duxter has chosen to stay in the pits for the time being. He's gonna let these ooh. Is that a Williams? Yes, we've got a Williams off track. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but he's lost his wing in a big way and taken some brake markers with him. And just let his teammate by, and he'll surely be into the pits.
I'm sure the guy's gonna love him for taking out those braking markers.
So that was Savage Moses that lost his front wing on his outlap. So he's gone back into the pits. Dirk's still in the pits. As I say that, it just says he's on an outlap.
Well, okay. Did he reclaim it? Or is that the AI? No, but AI won't really do qualifying, so looks like he did reclaim his vehicle.
Yeah, I don't in the race, yeah, but I don't think in qualifying they'll actually.
No, I don't see AI.
I think they'll sit in the pits, and you can come back and take control of it. But I don't think they'll go out.
But no, AI won't set a time for you in qualifying. You have to do that yourself.
So as the time starts to come in, Connor Young on provisional pole with a 108.3. Then we've got Neurader second, 108.7. Jacques in third, 108.9.
Here comes all the 108s now. We're waiting for this.
There we go. 3 108s in the top 3. Nicely done. Then we've got Quinton in fourth, not far. 109.2. Sniffleizer in fifth. Boinky sixth. Cowboy in seventh. And then 3 men, 8th, 9th and 10th, still waiting for their lap times. Angry Wolf is on a fast lap. Let's just bring some information up on your screen. There we go. He's in sector 1 of his fast lap. Let's have a look where Dirkster is. Also on a fast lap, also in sector 1. So we're going to have to wait another minute or so to see their lap times.
That's it.
Savage Moses also out on circuit. He's on an out lap. Didn't have the best of luck on his first attempt. Not sure what happened there. But I wonder how many guys that brake marker might come into strategy for him later.
I think the curse of a Staffy dog is running around here. Gav Big has joined, so it looks like he might make the race.
Looks like Gavin has joined the lobby with 7 minutes remaining in Q3. That means he will probably join it.
Boinky's leave.
So a little bit of drama. The man in... Where is Boinky? He has set a lap time. Yes, he has. He's currently in 7th with a 109.7. Barely a 109.7.
Reclaim that car before the end of the session.
Do you agree with me that it doesn't feel right to call that a 109.7? Like, if we both had 109.7s and I had a 109.700 and you were like, well, I have a 109.799, I'm like, that's basically a 109.8.
I was just about to say, because if you round it up, that's a 109.8.
I'm like, come on, you can't call that a 109.7.
No, I agree. I feel the same. My book, that will be a 109.8. It's the same as Quinton, Nate is 102. That will be a 109.3. Oh boy.
It's good to have someone to explain that to us. Obviously, I haven't had the issue just yet. 2 weeks ago, when I was doing the commentary, I had it twice. I had it in Q1, left the lobby, came back, did the commentary, and then when it happened in Q2, I said, well, not closing the lobby now, we'll just have to wait for Q3, and I commentated in the most awkward silence. It was...
That's weird.
It was not fun. Trust me.
I experienced it once as a rider, and I experienced it once as a commentator. I don't know which is the worst, because both scenarios actually sucked.
Honestly, when it happened to me as a driver 2 or 3 times, but the last time it happened, it was in qualifying, and I flipped the car into automatic. And I actually went faster than my previous best, and I was like, oops. Apparently, I don't know how to change gears. That's not good.
Not good. Not good at all. 5 minutes to go.
You should still have sufficient time to get back in. We're up to 8 viewers on the stream. Thanks guys for watching. Thanks for taking part. It's always good to see a bit of action in the comments section. It's good to see a bit of banter, a bit of discussion about strategy. You think this 108.3 is going to be beaten in the next 4 minutes? Or do you think that is pole?
One 8.7, the closest to him, so I think it's safe to say that will be pole.
Just over 3.5 minutes remaining. If anyone who's going to have a last go, we will see them get out on track shortly. Quinton out on circuit, he's in sector 2, currently fourth with a 108.9. Top 4 are in the 108s, and Dirkster just desperately outside of them, 109.0.
Close, very close.
Between second and fifth, really close, but Connor Young got 4/10 over the competition. Don't know if anyone's going to find that in the next 2.5 minutes.
I still believe, unless something really goes pear-shaped, I still believe Connor Young's got this.
Let's have a look. Here is Quinton as he goes through the end of sector 3, goes over the line now.
And Mopai has joined.
No improvement from him. Mopai has joined. He's actually lost a bit of count now, but if everyone who's joined is still here, that means we should have 18 or 19 drivers at the start of this race. Ronald dives into the pits. He's currently 7th, just ahead of his teammate. 2 Mercs with a 109.3 and a 109.6. Separated by 0.3 of a second. Nothing in it between 3rd and 4th. Look at that. 0.03 of a second.
That's as close as it will ever be.
Or as Ted Kravitz says. What does he say there? 30 milliseconds. 30 milliseconds. I don't understand. They designed the metric system and they can't get it right.
It takes 30 milliseconds for someone to lift their hand and punch you in the nose.
Angry Wolf in the Haas. Goes around in sector 2, yet to set a lap time. Running out of time to do so. Dirkster has retired from the session, obviously not able to improve or not able to set another lap.
43 seconds to go.
Decides to give himself a little bit of a break before the start of the formation lap. Give himself a bit of a breather.
Looks like Connor Young is just out there to fend off Noah Raider.
See, not much of it.
Had to pull over. Yeah, he's actually going slow. I don't think he's going to make it in time, or will he, to push for another lap. 13 seconds to go.
We have a Angry Wolf basically stationary on track. I think he's doing practice starts.
Okay, Noah Raider will get a lap underway.
Does, just with seconds remaining. When I looked at the clock, it was on 0, so it must have just been 1 or 2 seconds remaining.
It was literally 1 second to go. But he made it in time. Of course, Connor Young also out there just to fend him off.
Made it in time. He's gone over sector 1 already, and he's found a 10th. Obviously, he's going to have to find 4 tenths if he wants to start on pole position here at Interlagos.
You spoke about milliseconds just a few seconds ago. If you look at Quinton and Jacques now, it was the other way around and talk about milliseconds. But as I say that, Jacques actually goes faster. It's identical times with Noah Raider.
Okay, I'm just gonna point something out here to Codemasters. Okay, if
and Conor Young goes into the 107s.
Well, he needed to find 4 tenths, and now he's gonna have to find a whole lot more.
Let's see,
Goes
can
now
already
into
improve. Can he take it? Okay, take back second.
Does take back second. So it doesn't apply anymore. But just to point something out, if there are identical times, the guy who set that time second, he finishes, he starts behind, and
Correct.
the game actually did the opposite there. When he matched the time, he jumped into second rather than falling into third. That should not be the case.
It's the same as if it's equal points in the point standing. The one who achieves the points tally first is noted as first. But yeah, Codemasters.
In 1997 at the European Grand Prix in Jerez, Michael Schumacher, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, actually, in the order that it was Jacques Villeneuve, Michael Schumacher, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen. All three had identical lap times, and they started in that order because that's the order they got the lap time.
Correct, and that's how it should be.
If you go Brazilian Grand Prix Q3, that's it. There's your top 10. Conor Young will start on pole. He dipped into the 107s, then Neurader second, Jacques in third, Quinton fourth, Dux the fifth, Savage in sixth, Angry Wolf seventh, Boinkies in eighth, then Sniffleizer and Cowboy. They make up your top 10. Second cover the top 5.
So we got Sniffleizer. We just now need someone to come race with us called Briefleizer.
No, it's very deceiving. Second covering the top 5. Because if you eliminated that Conor Young lap, just 4 tenths covering the other 4.
Pretty much. But he literally saved the best for last, because that was a blinder.
So from what I've been able to pick up in the comment section is that it is raining at the end of the race. We'll have to wait and see, and obviously if Staffy hears anything from Jeff,
yeah, please let us know, Steph,
anything that says rain is imminent or rain in 10 to 15 minutes, please let us know. He has done that before.
Don't tell Jeff to shut up. We need him. At least the commentators does.
We've got 18 drivers on the grid. Gavin did get in at the end there.
Gavin and Malpine.
So Staffy got that disqualification, but he's going to be starting in 12th. Boinky's got a 5 grid place penalty. That means he's going to be starting in 13th. Raptor is down in 14th. Also had a retirement. Eliminated himself early on. Villandel, same story there. As well as Vino. That's the top 16. And then in 17th and 18th, these guys got here a little bit too late to qualify, but they're here to race. Maybe Carlos Sainz will inspire that McLaren down in 17th place to do something great. You know, we keep on talking about the podium, but you know what an amazing top 10 that Brazil was. Alpha got like 22 points. It was insane. Yeah, they finished 5th and 6th.
And of course, if you think, oh, alright, it looks like it's hitting the barrier right at the end.
I don't like taking it.
Just for Mason.
Don't like taking a stab at F1 teams, but after Sunday, after Brazil, after the craziness that was Brazil, how did we still not get a Haas in the points?
Hey, I mean, you had Toro Rosso on the podium, you had McLaren on the podium, Mercedes were nowhere.
And for a little bit there, I got so excited because I thought we were going to have a Honda 1, 2, 3. But here we go at the start of the race. Just waiting for the lights, and there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause.
And it's a go.
There
Let's
we go.
Go. Alright, pulling it. Looks like Connie Young's got this. Yeah, Connie Young's got into the first corner.
Young's got it into turn 1. Runs a little bit wider than he would have liked. Allows Raider to come back at him.
Continental just staying in there. He wished to take each other out. He's going to smile.
Looks like everybody has got through turn 1. Don't see carbon fiber flying across the track.
Not giving up on it. He's going to now have the inside, but no better of it. For the time being, Connie Young still stays in front. Continental now right on the back of Raider.
Looks it down to 14th. He made a mistake, ran wide, and at an early stage of the race like this, you run wide onto the grass, and you're going to let a whole flurry of cars by. Connor Young now over the line.
Actually pulling away from Raider.
Now crucially got that, he's got that gap up to 9/10 of a second at the end of lap 1. Obviously DRS will only come into play on lap 3, and he wants to break that second gap before it comes into play.
First rate, he's managing that. He's getting closer and closer to that 1 second gap. There we go, second now.
Having a look further back, if you look at 6th place, quite a battle on our hands there, quite a lot of cars. Everyone's still close together. And that mistake early on from Dirk, he ran wide, and basically all these cars you see on the screen right now, they just swept past. He finds himself down in 14.
Malpai and Gaffby guys actually making positions at the moment.
So Malpai, he's up into 13th. I think I just saw someone standing still on the track.
Yeah, Avalanche. Staffy just mentioned it, and also mentioned I actually saw Avalanche now 17th. I think Raptor had to stop or something because he's 28 seconds off Avalanche at the moment.
Seems like that's about a 1 pit stop gap with 28 seconds.
Unless he spun.
Bring some info up on screen. Have a look.
Savage Moses is out. Savage
Moses becomes the first retirement from this Brazilian round. Midweek racing. Malpai up into 10th. He's in the points. Told you maybe that
the biggest win at the moment in the early stages. Most places made up so far. Chasing down Valendo. Gap picking up to 13th so far, the second highest point position gainer so far.
Dirk's also making up positions from his mistake. Gavin doing well to just stay there behind him in that pocket of DRS and go through the traffic with him.
Malpai did make it past Landel now. Next on his radar will be Sniffleizer.
Dirk still goes side by side. There we go, down the inside into turn 1.
As you say, the guys very close to each other because Dirk was just now a little further back, but if you look at all where the other guys behind Velander is, I mean, all those gaps are less than a second.
Dirk made the pass on Vino into turn 1, who went up the inside. Now Gavin right on the back of that Renault.
Now Velander is also out.
His second retirement from this race on lap 4. Lap 4 of 36.
Staffy keeping Gavpik honest. And Gavpik right on the backside of Vino. Looks like Vino is struggling.
Already lost that position to Dirk on the previous lap. Down the inside into turn 1. See, where is Gavin? Here we go. Goes side by side with him. Doesn't look... Nope.
No, made a mistake there, ran wide. Both Gavpik and Staffy had to get out of it to avoid contact, especially Gavpik.
Wonder if those couldn't be the tyres. He started on a set of mediums. But something just not working there. Vino losing pace. Falling back through the field, made that mistake and managed to keep his position for the time being because the other cars had to avoid it.
And surely this is a good sight if you're a McLaren fan. Malpai keeping the two Mercs honest.
Up into 9th place. See now, he's got the two Mercs ahead of him. If they engage in battle, then there you go, he thought about it into turn 1. Thought better of it.
Just a little too far back.
Stays where he is for now, wants to just get closer.
Having a good race, having a good turn. Malpai going into the inside.
Nicely done, Malpai gets through.
And he did his pass sniffleizer.
He's got through on the first of the two Mercs and he's up into 8th place.
Staffy mentioned Gavi briefly, dropped down to 15th place now. That's one thing unfortunately about Gavpik, patience is definitely not one of his strong points.
He tried to get around there in turn 1. Things didn't work out. As we saw, Vino made a bit of a mistake and Gavin and Raptor both had to basically get off it to avoid it. And obviously had another go at him. Things didn't work out. He's down in 15th. Staffy now coming up on the back of the Renault.
See if he can make a move on that Renault now. DRS wide open. For staying like this, you will have DRS coming down this next straight as well. Ooh, big lock up there from Vino.
Has been just struggling in the last couple of laps.
And he's going again over corner, cutting corner there. Staffy having a better drive out of that corner. DRS will be wide open. Can he do something about this? Just not close enough. But again, Vino going wide. Velander out and Staffy losing it around the corner. Staffy saw his opportunity there, just going a bit too hot in that corner, and unfortunately the grip wasn't there, pass on.
And if you were watching that on the stream, you just got the most perfect view of it. Because I went on board to see what Staffy was doing, and as I got the right camera angle, his wheel flew across my screen.
And lap 8 and we already have 4 retirements.
4 retirements, 28 laps to go. Promoted the judge up into 12th for the time being. Vino in 11th. See all the pressure that was on him is now gone.
Guys are putting wheel and grass, I see. Malpai 8 chasing down Boinkies. At the moment just out of DRS. Duke's trying.
Stuff has left the comms box.
Malpai running wide. Duke's take the position. Duke's 9 to 8. Snuffel's also gaining from there as Malpai runs wide.
Having a fantastic race up until there. Just losing 2 positions. Gonna have to do it all over again.
Yes, just get your head down and just do it again. Don't give up. Still a long way to go.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed though. He was on a set of softs. Probably wanted to get that right the first time on the superior tyre. Up at the front though, Connor Young still leads this race. He leads by 3 seconds. Neurede in second. Internet third. Dirk still in fourth, hanging on to a potential podium. Just a second off that podium. Angry Wolf.
Keep in mind, Dirk is on the hard tyre where the top 3 is on medium. Obviously playing the longer game.
Could be crucial.
And Gaffik with a 3-second time penalty.
Not having the best race. We saw him make some good moves earlier on.
And then he's kind of like he just loses his cool and then silly mistakes.
We ride with him now. Currently in 12th place. It's 2.7 seconds down the road from the judge. He's in 11th on a set of mediums. Gavin should be able to catch up to him relatively easy. He's on the faster tyre. I wonder when these softs will start to drop off. Just Malpai and Gav on softs.
Pretty much everyone else on mediums except for Dirk, who's on hards. But yeah, very interesting strategy.
Dirkster now gets past the Mercedes-Benz of Boinkies, goes up into 7th place. Cowboy not too far up the road, just 7/10 of a second, so you'll see 6th place right ahead of him. That'll motivate him to get his head down again, especially after the start he had. The fact that he's come back as strongly as he has is rather impressive. Shows if things don't go your way in the first 5 or 6 laps, don't give up. That is definitely not when the race is won or lost. It's a difficult situation now. He's going to want to get past that racing point.
Where's your answer, J-Man? You asked about it. Malpai did pit. He's now on softs again.
He's obviously going to do a 2-stopper. Have another stint on the softs and then finish the race on the mediums, I guess.
He's having a go at Cowboy on the outside. Cowboy's not going to be able to maintain, and Duke's pulls it off. Duke's into 6.
Obviously, we're forgetting the possibility of rain at the end of this race. I wonder how true that prediction will be.
And if that comes into play, that's going to play nicely into Dirk's hands playing the longer game. Having to make 1 stop less.
And in some cases 2. Malpai already now on his 2nd set of softs.
Because if it rains, everybody will have to stop again. I mean, if he didn't stop by then, it's only that stop to go to weights, where everyone else will have to make an extra stop.
I think where maybe a set of softs and a set of mediums will get you to the rain.
Well,
I wonder if 2 sets of softs is going to cut it too close.
It's definitely changing. It's definitely starting to close up.
Try and keep an eye on that as best as we can. We have lost our driver commentator. He vacated the comms box.
Rena now in the pits, finally deciding that's enough, and he gets a 5-second time penalty, coming in too hard.
And every time we get a retirement, we get a new viewer on our stream. We're up to 11 people watching. So everyone watching, thanks for watching. If you're driving, I hope we're not too annoying. If you're watching, we hope we're entertaining you.
we're annoying you,
Put us on mute.
We'll try to annoy you even more.
Put us on mute, but hit the like button anyway.
Conor Young going faster, and still obviously on that medium that he started with. Already managing the gap to him, not increasing as quickly as you would think, but Kuntenaeter definitely battling to hold on to them. And Dirk is within DRS from Kuntenaeter, unguarded players.
Cowboy in 6th, so he has got past the racing point. Now sets his goals on the horse ahead of him, but that's quite a ways away. 5.7 seconds. Got a lot of work ahead of him if he's gonna get up there. Ooh, now we join the two McLarens in a side-by-side battle.
Just as a Malpai and Raptor.
Malpai and Raptor. Malpai seems to have got the best of that situation. Yes, he has.
Only 3 seconds, just over 3.5 seconds from the judge. We actually now got a 3-second time penalty as well.
So effectively that 3.5 second gap, if the race were to end now, it would, well, there we go, 3 seconds, there would be no gap.
I was about to say Boinkers will have a look at Cowboy. Cowboy actually dives into the pit.
Okay, there we go, just confirmation, racing points into the pits. He's already down to 9th.
I think Conor Young made a mistake. It gapped from 3.1, almost 3.2, now down to 2.2. Narrator almost a second again to RV.
Cowboy having a long pit stop. He had to change a wing. So he was probably in the pits a little longer than he would have liked. Conor Young, that gap just 2.1 seconds. He's having a look at his car.
Narrator's on the move.
Don't see any damage. Wonder if he just had a bit of off-track time. Lost a second or two on the grass or something. Don't see any damage on the wing. Everything looks fine there. Seems to have all the bits and pieces.
Narrator definitely catching Conor Young and leaving Kuntenaeter behind in the process.
We might be entering a phase of the race where the mediums are starting to go off, and this now comes into play. Which driver can just maintain his tyres a little bit better, and at the end there you manage to get a whole extra lap or a whole extra 2 out of the same set of tyres.
Williams of Kuntenaeter.
You know, and Captain Nice, in this situation here, you've got the top 3 all on a set of mediums, all 14 laps old. And this is why I said earlier in qualifying, when you set your fastest lap on that set of mediums, whatever you do, take care of that set of mediums.
Correct.
Because in a situation like this, if you were the one that did an extra 2 laps on those tyres, you would be feeling it right now.
Dirk staying here right with Kuntenaeter. He's going to go further into the race, being on the harder compound.
Starting to open the gap a little bit again. 2.5 seconds the gap. It's found half a second. Moreta's still second, Quinton's still third. Shark not far behind. He wants that podium. It's right there.
Raptor and the judge pretty much battling here. Raptor trying to get past the judge. And past the finish line now into the first corner. No, too far back. Ooh,
and in the process, seems like he outbraked himself.
Correct, and he had to take evasive action and ran very wide.
Judge just took the racing line there. It almost seems like he was expecting that to be a little bit easier because he missed his braking point. Realized he wasn't going to get past at the last moment. Take evasive action. Stays in 11th.
Of course, this is not being lapped. The judge, they're racing here for position, so judge
Can hold on to that position by any legal ways necessary. Don't weave on the track. Don't take out your rival and don't slam on brakes. Other than that, do what you can, defend your position. I wouldn't give it up, that's the final points paying position.
Look, one thing I'll tell you, the judge might be a pooner, but he's no pooper when it comes to racing.
Will not give up racing positions just like that.
Raptor and have a look on the outside, can he make it? Yes, he does. On the outside, Raptor moves into 10th, final points paying position.
Past the Toro Rosso. You know, we're gonna.
Both of them has been on these sets of tires for a long time now.
We're gonna call it that for one more race. Scuderia Toro Rosso. For the final time in Abu Dhabi.
And of course, next year it changes.
That's right, Scuderia AlphaTauri. Keeping the Scuderia. Obviously, the Scuderia. Not only linking to the Toro Rosso Italian roots, going way back before that. Obviously Toro Rosso bought out Italian team Minardi, whose full name was Scuderia Minardi.
Correct.
So just keeping that Italian tradition, still very Italian based team.
Now penalty. See Dirk just now dropping off Quintonator. Sure, there was a bit of a mistake with tires, but again, I just need to make mention. Look, if you look on the shadows and stuff, it generally seems to be getting darker out there. Here and there, a bit of sunshine still. Well, that rain is starting to look more and more likely.
Basically, driver boss at Toro Rosso, he was asked about Gasly's performance, finishing second in Brazil, and he said the only way he knows how to explain it is that he obviously enjoys the Italian food better. Came back to Italy, got back on the Italian diet, and there we go. There's the Gasly we were all excited to see at Red Bull. That just never really showed up.
I'd rather eat pasta, or even pizza for that matter, than eating frog legs.
Yeah, no, that's not really French. No, thank you. It's all good. It's all good. At the front, unchanged, Connor Young, Neuraider, and Quintonator.
One thing you give to the French, of course, is the bubbly.
That's right. The champagne. It's only officially allowed to say champagne on the bottle if it's really French.
Otherwise, it's not champagne, it's sparkling wine.
That's why we get a lot of sparkling wine these days.
Comes in. That releases Jack into third. Can he gain some sort of time here on the leaders? Of course, he is on the slower tyre, but he will be able to do a couple of more laps compared to them.
On that set of hards. And I'll see how far he intends on taking these tyres. Will the rain come into play? Or will he need to go and change those hards before the rain gets here? That could... It's a gamble, but it could also work out rather badly. If you simply can't go any further, and you need to pit, and 2 laps later on a fresh set of tyres it starts raining,
you have to put again.
Could go either way. If it starts raining just before the tyre life's about to go, well, then this worked out perfectly. Sits in third place on that set of hards. The men in front of him, both on mediums. 20 laps old.
But it's got a 12-second gap to more radio to breach. Not going to be easy.
Obviously, he's theoretically racing Quinton.
Of course, looking at battles going on at the moment, closest battle is Malpai chasing down Botha for 8th place.
Let's have a look at that battle. 5/10 of a second in it. Let's see, he opens up DRS. Not going to be close enough this time around, but like our captain mentioned earlier, it's really about that second stint of DRS that you're going to get now.
If you look at the Botha also on the heart, fresh set of hearts, 3 laps old. If you look at him and Dirk, the difference between them is he would hope he does not rain. Dirk would hope he rains, but just before you have to put for another set of tyres.
I thought about going on the outside there, then thought better of it, just backed out of it for the time being, but he's still just beyond that Ferrari, just 0.3 of a second. Follows him through sector 2. He's going to want to stay as close as possible. Stay as close to that gearbox as you possibly can. You know the DRS zone is coming, then you're going to head up that hill.
That's it.
And give it everything you got. If you don't get him into turn 1, it's fine. Get as close as you can. And you've got that second DRS zone. Just falling a little bit behind you in sector 3, a little bit more than he'd like.
Now using those software's advantage, pushing, coming our fastest lap. Trying to chase down Jock here, only 16 seconds.
That guy's not going to be close enough this time. He's actually further behind than he was on the previous lap. So Dukes are making a bit of space. If you want to call 0.6 of a second space. Not so long ago it was 0.2 of a second.
That proximity arrow will still be there.
It's just there to play on your mind. And then when it changes colour and goes red, it's very difficult not to look at it when it changes colour. And preferably I like it at the bottom of my screen. When it starts moving up and down the sides of my screen, I don't know.
Connie Young and Norway are really pushing those mediums far, as well as Raptor and Vijay. All over 20 laps now.
22 laps apiece. Obviously, Jacques has done the same amount of laps on that set of hards. So whatever these top 2 do, I expect the man in third to go for longer. Don't see any signs of rain on the screen just yet. And then obviously when we do get those first signs of rain, it doesn't necessarily mean it's time for inters. It could mean 5 or 6 very annoying laps. Track might not even get inter ready. You might just need to finish this race on flicks. We've seen that before too.
Happened several times where you think, I need inters, but it does not work enough.
Seen it, and 1 or 2 guys will actually try the inter and just tell everyone else no. 23 laps now, top 3 still yet to pit. No pit stops there in the top 3. Quinton still in 4th, Angry Wolf 5th, Sniffleizer 6th, Malpai up to 7th. He's had an eventful race. He's on his second set of softs. And this is now the...
Yeah, the judge is off track.
Judge of circuit.
And he lost his wing.
It's on an old set of mediums. So now he's just going to want to get around the track, get into the pits, and make that car feel a little more drivable again.
Definitely overcast now. This is definitely shaping up to actually racing to rainy conditions, I beg your pardon. Raining looks more and more likely.
Problem here is now just watch Malpai in the McLaren. He's in 7th. He's had quite the eventful race. He's come through the field once and he's doing it all over again. And we were surprised when he put on that second set of softs. And now he's just running into a little bit of trouble because set of softs are 15 laps old. We're getting to danger territory. And we haven't seen raindrops yet. And when we do, how long is it going to take for the track to the intermediate ready?
That's if that is going to happen, actually.
So I think we're just getting some confirmation here that all of our viewers are in fact drivers because the comment section is dead. So they're just listening to us. Unfortunately, this is not GT3 and I cannot give you any inside strategy information.
Outside of Snivelizer, Malpa into 6.
Doing a fantastic job. He's just pulled off so many passes today.
Angry Wolf.
5.5 seconds off the road for now, and that set of softs, 16 laps old.
Because Angry Wolf is in the better tyre, only 3 laps old softs.
Just feel that tyre could go off any minute, and just as I say that, I see the first drops of rain.
Yeah. Same here. Rain starting to come down.
First drops of rain on our screens. Lap 26 of 36. We've got 10 laps to go in this race. Potentially half of those laps being done on intermediate tyres. We don't know how long this track's going to take. How long can they go around on these inters? On these slicks? Alpine now 17 laps on that set of softs. What is the condition of those softs? And then now if Boinkies is going to be able to come back at him. He's got the much better tyre in tricky conditions. Might just be able to get that 6th place back.
It's just about hanging on now so that you can put for Inters.
Judge picking up the 3-second penalty. Yeah, this is that situation I was talking about where you're probably in your pit window, and if these were not the weather conditions right now, you'd probably be coming in. But now you're just holding on for that extra 2, 3, 4 laps. You don't know how long it's going to take. Oh, there we go. We have a not a driver, just a fan. Well, welcome. We actually have a fan. There we go. Welcome, Mark. Hope you're enjoying the racing.
I dare ask who he's a fan of.
Mark, let us know in the comments there. Are you supporting anyone in particular, or does the person you're supporting have a DNF next to their name? There you go, and we have also not a driver here, an engineer.
Oh, Malpai's light slides. Oh, he lost it. Can he keep that? Yeah, he manages to keep it out of the barrier, but he's down to 7th. That promotes Boinkies.
We go both just confirming.
Oh, he slips again, and those warm tyres now with the dampness of the track is not helping. DRS just disabled. I can see a lot of guys now coming into the pits for Inters. As I said, all 3 leaders on Inters. 5-second time penalty for Quintonator too hard in the pits, and as I said, Raptor leave the session. Internet is acting up again, and everything is happening now. Oh, and Malpai struggling to get the car back, loses yet another position. And Boinkies also gets slammed with a 5-second time penalty.
So we actually got 3 fans here. We've got Mark, James, and am I saying it correctly? Stelio. I think it's Stelio. Yes. And all 3 confirming they are Connor Young fans.
Oh, Connor supported you big time. So they like what they see.
Connor Young doing a good job. He leads this race as he has done from the start of the race. Where he started from pole. Hasn't had to answer too many questions during the course of this race. Made a mistake earlier on, it seems. We didn't see it on our screens, but at the time the gap went down from about 4.5 seconds to about 1.5 seconds. So clearly there was some off-track time. There was no damage to the car, and he started eking into that gap out again. And now he's in the final segment of this race. Everyone on inters. Now it's about bringing the car home in tricky conditions. 7 laps to go.
Look, not everybody on inters wrap the car still showing on softs, mediums, but of course that is a disconnect. That is purely AI.
That's right. We actually saw that car come into the pits on a set of softs and put on a set of mediums, and so that's just AI doing what it shouldn't.
As always.
I think could use the services of an engineer.
Clearly AI is not qualified to be an engineer.
Clearly not. Neither is Jeff. Nobody trusts Jeff.
I rather should have trust Jeff than the AI's Jeff.
By now picking up a 3-second penalty. Botha able to hold his advantage in the rain. Sometimes you just see how telling it can be. Sometimes you get guys who are amazingly quick in the dry, and a few drops of rain and everything falls apart. But he's able to hold that gap about 6.5 seconds, just doing what he needs to keep things together. And Neuraider has retired. We haven't seen it, but Neuraider has retired. We ride with Jacques so that if he drives past that stricken car, we'll have an idea of what happened, and there it is. You just see it on our screens briefly. Seems like he's gone off track, lost the wheel against the barrier. Could that maybe bring out a safety car? Well, if this game is realistic.
Ooh, and Jack's coming very close to being disqualified now. 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Anything like this any further, he will be disqualified.
Not having the best day there at the back at Interlagos. And Raptor now comes out of the pits. Is he in control of the car, or is that a ghost car? Can't really see from this angle. It's still ghosting, but eventually it's gone in and put on a set of inters. So if the man does decide to come back, you won't have a heart attack. His teammate Malpai still in the points, 8th place. He's obviously now being promoted from 9th to 8th because of Neuraider's retirement. He was in a very strong 2nd place. That's promoted Jacques into 2nd. He was obviously the man that gambled with the hards. Couldn't have been a very fun or easy opening couple of laps on that set of tyres, but done everything he needs to up till this point, holding things together. But I think Connor Young, 20 seconds up the road.
Luke's still passing Snuffleizer now, and Malpai is also there, still in with him. Malpai can still make it back into 6 again if he just keep his head down like he did all along. One or two mistakes here before the pit stop should not mean the end of his race.
How will his driving style change in the rain? Will it change in the rain? We'll see. Can he do the same amount of passes as he was doing in the dry? If that's the case, then I think he can get ahead of this Merc and ahead of this Ferrari. So I've seen him do it before, multiple times in this race. Getting really close. Obviously now in the rain, the advantage of DRS has fallen away. No one having that option. So you just got to try and get as close as you can in the right parts of the track and make it count. We're right on board with Malpai, and he goes aggressively into turn one.
That's a dive bomb on steroids. If I throw then there's contact again and he runs wide. Surely he must give that position. Yeah, and he's yielding. Yielding Sniffleizer go through, still stays ahead for now. But more than once there will contact there. That of course
I believe, look, I know a dive bomb has, and that's the end of that. Malpai just, I don't know how much of a retirement that was, or if he just let that go, because
if his patience just got the better of him.
It really just looked like that car was going down the straight and suddenly said, you know what, I'm going left, and there was a barrier there. So that's the end of that. His frustration has reached its peak. Malpai retires. Comes another retirement in this race,
which takes it up to 7. I don't like to point fingers and so forth, but what you just said now about that Malpai retirement, it almost looks like a piggy move.
Just sort of let it go.
And another 10 seconds for the judge. He's really close to disqualifying now.
Really just on the line. And when it comes to this game, we don't really know where that line is. But probably in other races, he would have been disqualified already.
Correct.
A few comments there in the comment section saying, unlucky Neuraider, you're having a fantastic race. Driving incredibly well, and he really was. I don't think he should be too disappointed in himself or his drive.
From the start till
just a bit of bad luck.
Pretty much him and Connor Young going for it.
Just a bit of bad luck, but was doing a fantastic job and was really the only man who could hold the bar.
Keep up with, correct.
To Connor Young. So I'm sure he'll be back next week. And
so we must take from this, there must be huge confidence coming into the next race after this. With Raptor technically retiring now or leaving the session, surely the judge can get promoted into 10th, so last points playing position, and yet another 10-second time penalty. As I say, promoted with all those time penalties not.
You have the man himself in the comment section, Neuraider, just saying couldn't compete with Connor today. Hopes he brings it home. He's had a quality drive so far. Sure he will bring it home. He hasn't put a foot wrong. He's doing a fantastic job. Thanks for all the support on the stream, guys. Lots of interaction in between each other and with the commentators. We're up to 60 views. We've been up to 15 people watching at a stage. If you're here, if you're watching, just hit the like so we know you're here. You've had a great race on track. Connor Young has put up quite a display.
Now the time penalties literally flying left, right and centre. Quintinator this time, 3 seconds.
Bookster here over the line, still in 6th place, let's see.
And here goes Boinkies.
Obviously another thing we need to remember going into the closing stages of the race. Closing stages, we are literally on the final lap. But another thing to remember is do not be too shocked where times are close. If you see cars swap around, we haven't even attempted to keep any track of any penalties. See multiple penalties popping up across the screen. Sometimes
jumped.
try to keep count of it, but been quite a lot of action out on circuit, quite a lot to talk about, and yeah, lost track of that completely. So could be some shocking ones there. I think Judge is going to be up there in the 30 seconds. It's currently 11th, just outside of the top 10.
Connor Young now just taking the last few corners, coming through now to take a victory.
Connor Young now goes around for the final time over the start-finish line to win. And they wet into Lagos. Nicely done. What a race it was. He led from pole. Led in Q1, Q2 and Q3. And Jacques has done a fantastic job to come through.
5-second unserved penalty, of course.
Ooh, and we've had a late spin there by a Toro Rosso. Not sure who that is. Didn't see, but we're following Quinton as he's going to go over the line.
And the other Toro Rosso is the judge.
Here we go. Third place goes to Quinton. Very nicely done. Let's just have a look where is Angry Wolf. He's coming around that final corner now. He's also going to go over the line. There we go. He classifies in 4th.
Judge is really piling up the penalties here.
Don't know how it's gone this far. A lot of guys
finishing with unserved penalties.
Wenky's also unserved penalty. And Dixer will be the final man to classify. He will go over the line now, and that's the end of that. Don't play the Sec1 song, damn it. It gets me a copyright. That's why I'm trying to talk over it. Yeah, apparently that works, by the way. If music starts playing, just talk really loud. But there we go.
Algorithm.
There's your podium, Toro Rosso. They're back on the podium in Brazil. This time they're ahead of the Red Bull. That would have been interesting if things went that way. And there's 3 South African flags up there, so that's different.
Job well done.
Thank you very much for joining us in Brazil. Midweek Racing Season 3, that was race 7. I'm going to be honest, I'm a terrible commentator. I haven't had a look at the calendar, so I don't know what is next week, but I will be commentating either with Captain Ice, or with Attie, or with Dirk. I'm not sure which one. We will see when we get there. Thank you very much for joining us.
Just want to say in the end, the judge, 44 seconds in penalties.
44 seconds. That's what it came up to. Well, my prediction was, 30, and I still thought, okay, maybe I'm being a bit much.
A bit too harsh,
but 44, and it's the famous number, the number he loves. I'm just saying that to annoy him, but yeah, I'm just going to start making people angry. I think it's time to end the stream. But to everybody who watched, to everybody who joined, thank you for taking part, and to the drivers, thanks for entertaining us, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Guys, take care.